Hello, ladies and gentlemen of VHS Horror, and welcome to episode 4 of the Classic VHS Podcast. Again, not sure if that's the name we're going to go with for this series. If I get a request or a suggestion or whatever, I'm sure I'll probably take it. So if you want to tell me what to call this series, feel free to. I will really thank you for that. Excuse me. So before I start talking, I just want to say there is no news on any upcoming horror film related game. What I'm about to talk about is all just ideas and stuff. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about video games. Now, as most of you know, Friday the 13th has a video game, which is pretty popular. It's a game where you can play in an open world, I guess. It's not that big of a map. I'm not sure if it would even qualify as open world. But, it's a... I don't know what to call it. Whatever, it's an open world game where you play as Jason or a counselor. Jason hunts down the counselor, and you can play as any of the Jasons from any of the movies, almost any of the movies. The reboot and Freddy vs. Jason's Jason has not been made, so not all the Jasons. But yeah, it's a fun little game. It's fairly realistic when you compare it to the movies, like all the stuff that happens in it, like, you know, it's like playing a movie. Like creating a movie. So, I was thinking quite a long time ago about what else could someone do. I was about to say what could they do, but I'm not referring to gun media. So what else could someone do? Now, when you think about A Nightmare on Elm Street, would that make a good game? I was thinking, now, you could do it similar to Friday the 13th, where it's an online game, but then I got thinking, how would you do the cool kills? Like the bathtub scene, I'm sure you'd want to recreate that in the game. Or any of the kills that take place in the dream world. Or heck, maybe the game itself takes place in the dream world. But then again, there should at least be a cutscene showing us a little bit of what happened to get there. I have no idea. It's just a little bit complicated, and you try to make it online. So when it comes to A Nightmare on Elm Street, I think that A Nightmare on Elm Street game, for it to be any good, has to be single player only. At least single player to begin with, and then maybe later, as just an expansion to it, you try to add a multiplayer mode. But just to make a good Nightmare on Elm Street game, I think it has to be single player. You could play as any of the Freddys, which, you know, almost all look the same except for the one in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And actually the first Freddy had quite a few more scars than the other ones. They all pretty much look the same. So I guess really just switch costumes. And maybe you get to play as characters from the movies, like Glenn, Nancy, what was the other one's name? Trying to think of the one from part 3. I don't remember. But you would want to be able to play as all those characters and play out some of the most iconic moments from the movies. Or maybe it would just be a completely different thing, not even related to the movies. Like the reboot, that was all shit. But, you know, I was just thinking about, you'd want cool things to happen, like going to the dream world and then being in the real world. And if you do that online, I don't know how that would work. I mean, somehow your character would go to sleep. And then I was thinking, well, to keep them awake, what would you do? Would you run down to the local coffee shop and get a drink, or would you, I don't know, listen to loud music, run around the street, I don't know. And then after a while, maybe your legs get tired, so you lay down, or maybe, you know, it's past curfew, so you have to head home, otherwise the police catch you and make you go home. Maybe they arrest you, and maybe you have to sleep in a prison bed. Like, if it was online, it would be very weird, because it'd be like, okay, just try not to fall asleep. But if it was single player, it could have an actual story. Unlike Friday the 13th, the game, which does not have a story to it. It's just, you know what, go kill people. Okay. Let's talk about Halloween for a minute. excuse me. Halloween could make a very good video game. But I know already what most of you are going to say. Halloween, if they made a game, it would just be a copy of Friday the 13th, the game. Because they're so similar. Well, not really. There's a lot... I was about to say there's a lot more stuff in Halloween, but I'm not sure. Now, in Halloween, they go in the houses a lot and do stuff in their hospitals, things like that. And Friday the 13th, the game, you're in a camp. But if Halloween had a game, I'm sure it would have different locations that would be fun to explore and run around in and get killed in. Like the hospital from, I think it was Halloween 2, and just Haddonfield, however it's announced. I guess that's it that I can think of. But it would be very similar to Friday the 13th the game, and I'm sure that would cause a lot of problems, like, oh no, you copied our game. And it's like, no, we didn't copy your game, they're just very similar franchises. Like, ultimately the game would probably end up being single player, having a story, and then it being shit. And then people going, oh yeah, I told you Friday the 13th the game was better. I'm not sure if Halloween got a game, I'm not sure how that would work. Let's talk about Saw. That's very interesting, because Saw's actually had a few video games. I think Saw would be amazing, because it's strategy shit. And there's even a Saw escape room in real life that I think would be fun as heck to do. I think it's in Las Vegas, so I've never seen that, or at least not for a long time. But I'm really into strategy stuff, so I think a Saw game would be awesome. Like, just imagine having to figure out all these different puzzles and stuff to maybe get this thing off your head before it splits you in half, or to release yourself from this machine that'll rip your body apart, or release yourself from a machine that starts twisting your limbs. Like, what was it? It was the one where the colored guy, Saw 3, I think. Yeah, Saw 3. But yeah, just imagine all the cool stuff that could be in that. And then, when you really get thinking of a Saw game, there's no better way to do it than in virtual reality. Just imagine sitting there, you have a headset on your character, and you're wearing a headset in real life too, so it feels like you're actually wearing a headset. And you have to use your, like, actual hands to fix something that's strapped to your face and try to get it off of your head. That shit would be cool. Because it would feel like you're wearing it in real life, and it would just... It's virtual reality, you know? I think a VR Saw game like that could be really fun. Even if it's just the one level, and the game is free or something. Like, hey, check out this thing. You have to get this thing off your head or you die. It's only one level, but still... Like, I would just love that. Just sitting there in a room trying to get this thing off my head. I wonder how freaky that would be in first person, too. In virtual reality. Because it would actually feel and look like that's what's going on. So I wonder if your character was to die, if you would like jump or something, because you'd actually be scared. Shit. I'd love something like that. I don't know how the Saw games stunk so bad. Apparently they're really bad. I'd like to believe they're good, and I'm going to play them someday. Even if I need to... You know... Even if I need to find other ways of obtaining the games. I'm not saying stealing. I'm talking about over the computer. I don't know how much more obvious I could make what I'm saying, but I'm not going to come out and say, you know, hey, I'll go out and I'll this game. I won't say that. I don't want to support, but you know. I say you know a lot. I don't know why. It's kind of annoying to me too. It's like I don't know what to say, so I just go, you know? You know? Shit. I say shit a lot too, but that's because I don't say other words on this channel. Anyway, so a Chucky video game, that could be fun. I'd like to believe it could be fun. Honestly, it would probably be shit. I just don't know how they could do a Chucky game. I mean, you think it'd be easy, but these days, like back in the PS2 days, you'd have some really good video games with very good stories. These days, it's like, okay, well, here's a car, here's a gun, here's cool effects, go play with it. Like, I feel like people care too much about graphics and stuff these days to work on a story. I think if they made a Chucky game, it would have to be a single-player game, and it would have to have a really good story. And Don Mancini for sure would have to be involved in the creation of it. Brad Dourif, get all the friggin' voice actors, man, that would be a really great game. But, it would have to be a really good story. I just don't know how a Chucky game could be good if it didn't have a good story. Now, you might be saying, well, almost every game has to have a good story for it to be good. Well, not really, because what kind of story does Friday the 13th the game have? I have a love-hate relationship with that game. Sometimes I really enjoy it, other times I just hate it. Like, oh, look at that, the developers are charging you $5 for a bikini DLC? That's pretty stupid. Then it's like, oh, hey, look at this, we're giving you a free map and a free Jason, all free. It's like, oh, nice, I guess that's cool. Like, some days I hate them, some days I don't. And like I said once on a very old podcast, I know what you might be thinking. Oh, wow, you're just mad because you have to pay to see, what's her name? Tiffany, is that the one everyone faps to in the short shorts? But anyway, oh, you're just mad because you have to pay money to put her in a bikini. No, if I wanted porn, there's Google for that. Frig, you kids can go spend money on bikini DLCs. I just think clothing DLC is stupid that you have to pay for. Now, if you had to pay for the Jason maps and stuff, it would suck because, you know, you'd have to pay for it, but that's better DLC that you have to pay for rather than, oh, cool, I could put this fat guy in a wrestling belt. Oh, cool, I can put Kenny or whatever his name is in a pink cop outfit. And I'm done ranting about Friday the 13th the game because this is going to turn into a rant. I have 1, 2, 3, I don't know how many of them on my other channel. What other franchises are there? Texas Chainsaw. That could be fun. It'd kind of be like a manhunt game where it'd be all executions and gore. That could be really fun. And the thing that would make it so fun is all the controversy, because you know there'd be controversy surrounding that shit. Or would there? Back in the day when Manhunt came out, that was a big deal. But something like that these days is like, oh wow, cool, that sucks, that's stupid, that looks dumb. I just don't know. I don't know if it would cause any controversy or not. But I think it would just be so fun, just playing as Leatherface. All the different Leatherfaces too. You have to get to switch between all the masks and stuff. Got to try new weapons like a chainsaw or his little hammer thing. Maybe I don't know. What other weapons has he used? I don't know. All I know is the chainsaw. But yeah, just think it'd be great. Just being able to run around, cut up people in wheelchairs and old hippie vans. Wouldn't that be fun if Friday the 13th the game put a character in a wheelchair in the game? Your negative effects are you can't run. That sounds mean, but I'm referring to him being in a wheelchair, not being able to climb stairs. I just think that kind of shit would be fun. It'd be interesting for sure. Just seeing Jason run around doing cool wheelchair kills. You know, it's a quality. If you don't put someone in a wheelchair in your game, that's offensive, because you're saying they don't deserve a place in your game. And I was just trying to make a dumb joke just then. I really don't know what else to talk about. I'd like this podcast to be at least 20 minutes, so I'll try to talk a little bit more while I quickly Google horror films. A Ju-On game, yeah, The Grudge. I would love a haunted house simulator with The Grudge. And I know there's already one for the Wii, but I doubt I can get my hands on it because I'm sure it's so unpopular they don't have any copies. I could look around, and now that I say it out loud, I am going to be looking for it. But I would love a haunted house simulator. A good haunted house simulator. Ju-On game. PewDiePie, I remember watching his video. I think he said he emulated it, or he tried emulating it, but it didn't work. So that means I can get it on the PC. So I'll have to look somewhere. Oh, no, that's Nintendo.com. I was looking if it was Emu Paradise or however it's pronounced. I'm gonna have to look that stuff up later. I want to play that. I might even play it for the channel if you guys want to see it. Who knows? But probably not. Emulated games run real bad. And The Ring, that could make a fun little haunted house simulator. It couldn't make any cool single player or what else? Single player or multiplayer game. And oh my, I'm looking at the graphics for that Ju-On game. Toshio just looks like a... I don't even know. Oh my gosh, Keiko's eyes are pretty much popping out of her head. I would love to play that Saw game. Ah, Toshio looks so dumb. Is that San Andreas? Yeah. Saik, Ju-On, The Grudge for GTA, Keiko for GTA San Andreas. Cool, don't look a thing like her, maybe Sadako. No, she has longer hair. Almost everything that you see for a video game that's a mod is almost always San Andreas. And I don't mean almost everything, but almost every interesting thing, you can tell by looking at it, like, okay, that's San Andreas. Oh, a Jason or a Chucky mod or something? Oh, that's San Andreas. Bigfoot? That's San Andreas. I want to mod San Andreas. I don't know how to, though. Hold up. I'll look up horror movie video games. I would love to play Silent Hill for the channel, but like I said, emulated games, not that I emulate games, emulated games run real bad. I did do some, what was it, Evil Dead on my gaming channel, but that wasn't commentated because, again, emulated games, not that I emulate, they run real bad. That sucks. I'd love to play it. And, you know, you don't get games like that anymore. Cool licensed games like Left 4 Dead. Not Left 4 Dead. Did I see that somewhere? Why did I say Left 4 Dead? Excuse me. Talking about Evil Dead. You don't get any cool licensed games like that anymore. Holy shit, one came out in 1984. That's probably... Okay. I can already imagine what that looks like. Let's look up images. No, I just see Fistful of Boomstick and Regeneration. That was my favorite one. Evil Dead Regeneration. Oh, why did I uninstall that? I got to the part where you fight with, I think Ash called him Electric Head or something. I don't know. Electroshock. I don't know what he called him. But the first boss fight in the game, and then you find that little midget guy who becomes your best friend. And I guess midget's a bad word now. So, my apologies, I guess, if I offended anyone. You don't get any good licensed games anymore. You don't get any to begin with. Everyone's too busy trying to make their own original thing or trying to do stupid sequels to stuff. I don't want Red Dead Redemption 2. I want another Evil Dead game. Sam, that's his name. The little guy in Evil Dead Regeneration. GameSpot, Evil Dead Regeneration, blah blah blah. Whatever that article is. I typed in horror movie video games and I see stuff like Dino Crisis, the letter D. Let's see what else sounds dumb. The Ring, Terror Realm. Is that something based off The Ring? The Ring Terror Realm is a survival horror video game developed and published by Asmik Ace Entertainment in Japan. Japan, it could be based off The Ring. Shit, I'm gonna have to look this up. It came out in the year 2000, so it's obviously not gonna be a great game. I'll have to look that up. But I guess while we're still doing this, I could recommend a few games. Evil Dead Regeneration, if you can get your hands on that, that's a really awesome game. I only played the first little bit of it, and it was awesome. That's the only word I have for it, is just awesome. It's a great game. Deadly Premonition, I believe I have that. I got it for cheap during a sale. Is that based off anything, or is that their own original thing? I got it because the graphics reminded me of, reminded me a little bit of Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy, which is one of my favorite games. When I think about my favorite games, I don't usually think of Fahrenheit, but I remember I seen Fahrenheit the other day and I was like, shit, yeah, that's one of my favorites. I don't think of it a lot because I stopped playing because I couldn't beat it because of a glitch that I talked about in a gaming video. I don't know if I'll upload it or not, but I talked about it in a gaming video that I was going to test out on this channel. But, oh, The Thing had a game in 2002. I'll look that up. I'm not going to play it. Even if I can emulate it, I'm not going to play it. Not that I emulate. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I seen it for the GameCube a long time ago when I was a kid. Back when you could rent games, I seen it down at my local store. And I seen Resident Evil Raccoon City or something. I think it's called Code Veronica. Hold up. I'm going to look that up. Code Veronica. There we go. I don't know. But it was for the GameCube. That was back when the GameCube was a hit new thing. I doubt it was a hit new thing, but it was a really popular thing. Manhunt. I love that game. I only played a little bit of it, and I love it. I don't know how far I made it. I obviously did not make it to the next boss fight, because I've never been to a boss fight. But it's made by Rockstar. I didn't emulate Manhunt 2 on the PC with the emulator that is not called PCSX2. I'm done talking about emulators. I'm not going to tell you where you can download them, but I am going to just say if you want to download an emulator, because emulation itself is pirating. But emulators themselves are totally fine to download. If you want to just have Project 64 or something download on your computer, Dolphin, PCSX2, something like that, you can. There's no point to it unless you have ROMs, but downloading the emulators themselves is totally fine. So, even though I'm not going to link to it, I will say though, ask me on Twitter or something if you want a link to a safe one. Or look it up first on Reddit or something. Ask people what a safe link is. Don't just go downloading something just because you want to try it out. That should be obvious, but you know. I really want to look up The Ring Terror's Realm. I'm gonna copy that and search that shit. But yeah, this video is now over 20 minutes, so that's nice. Now, I don't do it for... I believe on YouTube, if you pass 10 minutes, you get to make money or something. I don't know how that works. But the reason I make my podcast longer is because when I watch podcasts, I want to watch something... Well, I don't really watch them at all. I want something I can just throw on in the background, listen to it for a while, and just, just relax. And I can't really do that when a podcast is like 15 minutes. I don't even think of those as podcasts. I just think of them as, just some dude talking for a few minutes. Like on my channel, you'll see some podcasts that I think are close to 40 minutes and some podcasts that are below 20 minutes. I'm going to just quickly search up The Ring Terror's Realm gameplay. And then, I hope it's out on the PlayStation, at least number 1. Excuse me. MU Paradise. Shit, yeah. DC, ISO, whatever that is. Okay, so you can get it. But, okay, the emulator you need is null DC. I have no idea. I'll have to look at that later on my own time. I might even cut that part out because I just said the emulator you need is I'm not promoting emulation, because that would be a no-no. But anyway, yeah, just want to talk to you for a little bit about horror video games that could be a thing, ideas for horror video games, and at the end of it, I guess we just looked up actual horror video games. So yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. Nothing else to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.